Welcome, students. Thank you for joining me in this session of revision for the last year's Jamb, Economics 2023, Module 1. Okay, my effort in trying to help you prepare for Jamb, Economics, is the reason why we are having this video done for you. So please pay attention as we go through them one after the other to help you understand why these concepts are correct and why they should be taken as serious as they are. So please follow me, all right, as we get there. God bless you. So here, the number one question says, the fundamental problem of economics is this, is what? Fundamental. I want you to understand something, that for every question you're about to answer, there is always a point, a phrase or a word or a link in that statement that should link you to the answer you're looking for. So if you are careful enough, I know the time is not enough, but if you keep practicing, you come to realize that yes, it becomes easier for you. So practice what makes what perfect. Don't give room for laziness. Make sure you always try to practice consistently with past questions after you must have read, okay? And any topic you see that is difficult for you in your practice, go back to your textbook, check the internet, and look for sources of answer to that question, as well as doing that will help you to become much more conversant with that topic. Here, take note, like I said, there's always a point in the question you're going to answer that should reveal where the answer is lying for you. It's always there. Your own is to analyze the question properly and get out that reference to the answer. Sometimes you have two most relevant answers that may be correct, but one is best fitting to that particular question. So that's your job to detect. When you have technical questions, it's your job to pick out the correct one because it's already there in the question. It's your own is so to just analyze the question properly and analyze the remaining options in your options, which is after you must have done what we call elimination method. Remove the ones that are not correct from your view and from your mind, and focus mainly on the two that looks confusing to you according to the question asked. So as you're analyzing the question, you're having in mind the option that is available to see which of them is most correct. And if you do that regularly, you will pick the most correct option most often. All right? That's what you're guessing for a topic that you don't know much, but you don't remember much about. That's what you do. But in case you have studied very well, the answer will also always be there. Okay? Now, here it says, the fundamental problem of economics is what? Fundamental, that's basic problem, all right? Is what? What makes us study economics? That's what it's trying to ask of you. Is what? Number one, it says, establishment of political framework to determine the what, how, and for whom to produce or production is done for. Is that the problem? Number two says, to establish an equitable distribution of income. Is that why we study economics? Number three says the scarcity of productive resources related to what? Society's unlimited wants. D says finding striking determinants between the forces of demand and supply. Now, if you look at this very well, before you talk about who to produce for, how to produce, and what to produce, you should have something available to produce, to do that production, isn't it? So yes, if there is not enough resources, in fact, let me put it this way, that the most problem that the world faces today, the reason why you have wars and fighting everywhere is because of what? Inadequacies, scarcity, lack. So that is why we tell you how to make the most use of it to meet our needs. So the answer here is what? Is C, which says scarcity of productive resources related to what? Society's unlimited wants. That's a basic problem of economics that we have, all right? The basic problem that brings the study of economics into the real existence. Number two, here it says, economic problem occurs when? Yes. It occurs when what happens? Here you have to be smart again. When does economic problem occurs? When you are hungry and you don't have what to eat, all right? You don't have what to eat, and you try to make sure that you get something to eat. What do? You begin to scout around to say, okay, what do I have in this house? How much do I have left? All right, how do I use it to make sure that I eat something that can be satisfying to me? What is that? You are facing what? Scarcity. Is it not true? Yes, inadequacy. So there is what? Economic problem arises when there is scarcity related to what? Demand. Or is it that when there are two buyers, when there are no buyers, sorry, for our goods? Or is it when there are many people out there out of work? Or when all resources are imported? No. All the options from B to C, from B to D, doesn't fit into this question. So the answer is what? Is scarcity as well. When there is scarcity related to what? Demand. Okay? Demand is chasing unavailable goods. So you have demand, you have needs, but you cannot get it because you are lacking something. That thing you want to buy is not available, or you don't have the resources to do that. So scarcity brings about problems in economics. And number 3, the demand for goods is price inelastic if what? Demand for goods is price inelastic when what happens? Yes, elasticity, like I told you, is one of those topics that Jamb always asks questions from. I always talk about demand, talk about productivity of production. You see, the first 2 questions I've answered here is what talk about basic problems, which we've also analyzed. So you see that these topics cannot be avoided in Jamb. This one is talking about what? Elasticity. Now I said the demand for a good is price inelastic when what happens? Now, when is it inelastic? Is it when the price of elasticity is 1? Is it when the price of elasticity is less than 1? Is it when the price of elasticity is greater than 1? Is when the price of elasticity is what? Is negative. Now, let me try and give you a review on that. We have 5 coefficients of elasticity for demand and supply. Okay? What are they? We have, first of all, we have the fairly elastic or elastic demand. All right, where demand elasticity is, so when a change in price brings about a greater change in quantity demanded or supplied. Okay, in this case, you have that demand elasticity is greater than 1 but less than infinity. So this will make you understand when demand is elastic or inelastic. It is elastic when change in demand is greater than change in price, and is what is greater than 1 and less than infinity. It is also inelastic when the elasticity of demand is less than 1, or let's say it's greater than 0 but less than 1. All right. So now in that case, demand is what? Inelastic. So you have a period between 0.1 to 0.9. Okay, that gives you an inelastic demand nature of a product, either supply or demand. The third one is unitary elastic demand. You see here, you said change in price brings about what? An equal change in demand or supply. So you have unitary. That is when you have a unitary elastic demand. Then the other one is perfectly inelastic. That is when no matter the change in price, there is no observable change in demand. That change in demand is equal to 0. So you have it as 0 elastic or perfectly inelastic. The other one is perfectly elastic or infinitely elastic demand, where any slight change in price will result to an extreme response from demand or supply. So you have it as what? Perfectly or infinitely elastic demand. So based on this analysis, you can now pick your answer out. So demand of a good is price inelastic when what happens? The answer is what? Is B, because here it says the price elasticity of demand is less than 1. So that's your answer. So the type of unemployment that occurs when an individual cannot find a job as a result of obsolete skill is what? It says what? As a result of obsolete skill. This is the point that your answer lies, all right? It's not just unemployment. The answer lies when the unemployment is caused by what? Obsolete skills. So yes, how do you find out? When your skills are no longer required, or you don't have the wherewithal to do a particular job because of the skills required. You're looking for a particular job, you want to have it, but it's available for you, but the skills that is needed for that job, you don't have it. You can't get employed for it. So that keeps you unemployed still. Or where you are working, there's a change in the structure of activities, of the company's operations, and the new installments are way beyond your ability to cope with. That can get you what? Laid off, and that becomes what? And a source of unemployment for you. Okay? Also, there could be some other reasons, geographical differentials, all right? Can make you unable to get job. That also brings it what? To this kind of unemployment. So here, we're looking at something that has to do with unemployment, and they ask what kind of unemployment occurs when you don't have the right skill. Is it frictional unemployment? Is it structural unemployment? Is it cyclical? Is it seasonal? So let's say the answer is all structural because it has to do with the change. It can be a change in the demand of goods and services. It can be a change in technology. It can be a change in installations in the production plant. So yes, your answer is what is structural unemployment. Please take note of that. You want to understand it more, go and ask, just check well. For your test, some of your don't have this information, go online and type details, complete details about structural unemployment. You see what I'm saying? The factors include geographical factors, technological factors, and change in demand factors, and so on, right? That will cause structural unemployment. So that's why the answer is what? Structural unemployment. Thank you very much. So the next question here, number 5, says an increase in total production, that is real GDP, causes the demand for money to dash and the interest rate to also what? Dash. What do you think will be the answer to this question? Increase in production, meaning increase in real GDP. In extension, economic growth. All right? Of course, that's what it is. It causes the demand for money to what? To dash, and the interest rate to dash. So what's the answer? Now, if there's an increase in output, possibly consumer goods, new inventions, new version of existing products, what will happen? Demand for money will rise because people will want to have or take hold of those new products that have been produced. So they will need more money to do what? To have those products, to buy them. And as demand for money increases, what will happen? The cost of having money will also what? Increase, isn't it? That is, interest rates will also what? Increase. That is why our option, the right option is what? Is A, because demand for money will what? Will increase, and interest rate will follow suit. That's what it means. So as more demand for money is observed, in extension, interest rate will also what? Increase. So yes, that's our answer. The rest doesn't fall into place. Now the term investment in macroeconomics means what? The term investment is the term. In macroeconomics, what does it mean? Investment. Okay, let's look at the options. It says the total amount of capital goods in the economy or in the country. Is that what it means? B, total amount of money invested in bonds and stocks. Because the word invested is there, don't be confused, all right? You look at it very well. Then you look at C, it says profit. Wow, that also comes from investment, but that's not the meaning of investment. Then D, production of goods for immediate consumption. No, that cannot be investment in totality. It's part of investment, but of course, what does it mean to have investment? Investment means something you sacrifice your resources for at the moment that will bring you returns in the future. All right? A sacrifice of your resources for a purpose that in the future you will get something in return. It could be anything you're sacrificing, okay? And that those things are they are in capital formation. All right? So when you say investment, you talk about the money or the resources that you have spent on capital goods, all right, that will bring you returns in the near future. That's what investment represents. So our answer here can only be A, because it talks about putting your money into capital goods that will bring you returns in the future. Returns that can be more than what you put down. That's what investment means. Yes, even B looks correct. Like I said, there will be times where you have two answers that may confuse you, because B says total amount of money invested in bonds and stock. The word invested there makes it look so real. Okay? But yes, if this one A was not there, B would have been your answer. But the most fitting answer here for this option you have is A, because you're talking about capital goods. Capital goods. What are capital goods? These are producer goods, okay? Goods that can be produced further wealth, all right? So that's what we call investment. This wealth comes in terms of what? Profit and interest, okay? So yes, our best option here is what? Is A. Then the velocity of money is what? What does velocity of money represent? Velocity of money represents the speed with which money exchanges hands in the economy, the speed with which people spend the money that they have made in the economy. How often, how fast do they spend what they earn and earn it back? It could be fast, it could be slow. And when it is fast, the economy grows faster. When it is slow, the economy grows slowly. So you know that already. Now, what are the answers? Or what is the answer to this particular question? The money supply multiplied by the price level, is that so? I don't think. Let's check it. Now, the real money supply divided by the real GDP. These are confusing statements, of course. Then it says it's the ratio of real GDP to the real money supply. Now, velocity of money is a capture out of the quantity theory of money. All right? It's a capture out of the quantity theory of money, of which it talks about the volume of money available in the system and the price level. Okay? So now we look at it in this way. The formula for calculating this velocity is simply expressed as MV equals to PT, that is, supply of money and the velocity of money is equals to the price level and the quantity of goods traded. All right? That's M is what? Supply of money, V is velocity of money, Y, P is price level, and T is what? The quantity of goods and services traded. So if you come down to this option we have here, you can see that we're talking about a ratio. All right? So the money supply divided by the price level is not the answer. The answer here is C, where you have the ratio of real GDP to the real money supply. Okay, that is what the answer is, because we're talking about a ratio. The ratio of money supply and velocity of money to price level and the quantity of goods worth traded in the economy. Now, the theory of dash was propounded by dash. Okay, wow, we should be very careful here because they are mixing these things to confuse you. We have Adam Smith, we have David Ricardo, who are people that talked about the topic under consideration here. We're talking about the theory of absolute advantage and comparative advantage. So which of these options best fits as the correct one based on how the question is asked? It says the theory of dash, you choose one. Is it comparative advantage? Is it absolute advantage? Was propounded by who? So you pick the right advantage and the right name. The options are there. Number one, A says absolute advantage is David Ricardo. Is that true? I'm not sure. No, that's not correct. Absolute advantage, Adam Smith. Is that true? Let's go further and see the rest. Comparative advantage is Adam Smith. It's not correct. You have comparative advantage, mercantilist, economist. Now, the name is what we're looking for here. Now, we said the B here is the most correct answer because Adam Smith propounded the theory of absolute advantage. All right? So, the theory of absolute advantage is provided by what? Adam Smith. As B is our right option that fits the correct the question. So, a dash, that's question 9 now. A dash in the price of domestic currency in terms of a foreign currency is referred to as dash. A dash in the price of domestic currency in terms of a foreign currency is referred to as what? As what? Option A says a decrease in the price of a domestic currency in terms of a foreign currency. What is it called? A decrease in the price of domestic currency in terms of a foreign currency is referred to as what? Is it depreciation? That's option A. B says a decrease in the price of domestic currency in terms of foreign currency it refers to as appreciation. Is that correct? Let's go further. It says an increase in the price of a domestic currency in terms of foreign currency is referred to as what? Is it de-appreciation? What a wonderful combination. De-appreciation. D says an increase in the price of foreign, local currency or domestic currency in terms of foreign currency is referred to as what? Consolidation. Yes, these are options. Truth is we have two types of devaluation of currency. So we have two types of adjustment in currencies, all right, of a nation. We have what we call devaluation and we have what we call depreciation. All right, devaluation talks about a country's deliberate attempt to reduce the value of its currency against other foreign currencies in the market so that it can elicit some reactions in the domestic economy in terms of trying to sell out what they have produced to foreign currency, to the foreigners or to other countries. If a country devalues its currency, it means that it's trying to sell off what it has produced. All right, it's trying to sell more and become more export oriented. Yeah, but in this case, where government did not do this deliberately, it's no longer devaluation. Where the market forces take charge to determine the value of a country's currency, it's called what? In the case where the country loses value, it's called depreciation, caused by what? The interaction of market forces, all right, to determine the value of the currency. So now, when there's a decrease in the price of domestic currency, okay, in terms of foreign currency, it is referred as what? Depreciation. That's what the market forces will do. So A is our correct option here. Let's go for that. Then the next one here says, a major factor contributing to productivity is what? Is what? It is what? A, the labor force, the rate of GDP per year, the baby boom of generation, the immigration of young workers. Wow. This option can be somehow tempting, of course, but you know, productivity has to do with what? The use of labor. So labor comes in first before other things can count in productivity. All right? So here, it is what? The labor force of a country is a major factor that contributes to what? Productivity. So our answer is what? A. That's question 11 now. Among all the determinants of economic growth, like they say, there are many. The most important one is what? The most important of all the determinants of economic growth is what? Is what? A says land and natural resources. B says human capital. C says technologies. And D says increased GDP. You cannot take human beings away from the picture. All right? No matter what you do, humans are the ones that will manipulate the other factors or determinants to determine growth. So, the most important factor is what? Human capital. All right? It is human capital that becomes an entrepreneur and the labor that will manipulate other factors that will encourage growth to happen. So, of all determinants, the most important one is what? Is human capital. So, B is our answer. The demand for money will fall if what happens? The demand for money will fall if what happens? What will happen? A, if real GDP rises. B, if real interest rates rises. C, the GDP deflator rises. And D, people expect deflation soon. What will cause the demand for money to fall? The law of demand says the higher the price, the lower the quantity demanded, isn't it? Fine. So, for the demand for money to fall, the price of borrowing money, all right, the price of getting money must rise, isn't it? The price of borrowing or getting money must rise for demand for money to fall. So, if you bring this knowledge into the system, into the question, you can say that the answer should be what? The real interest rate rises. When interest rate rises, demand for money will fall. So yes, B is our best option here. Is that clear? Yes. B is our best bet as the answer. So which of the following, now question 13 now, it says, which of the following is an example of expansionary monetary policy by the Central Bank of Nigeria? The word says expansionary. All All right? Which of these is an example of expansionary policy in the central banks of Nigeria? Okay. It means that what? It wants to extend supply of money. It wants to increase supply of money. That's what it means. Expansionary monetary policy means what? They want to increase supply of money. They want to increase the volume of money in circulation. So which of these options will be your answer here? A says increasing the discount rate. When you increase the discount rate, people get less money. All right? Isn't it? Increasing the reserve ratio. It also means reduction of money available in the hands of commercial banks. Buying treasury securities from commercial banks. That's C. Then D says lowering income taxes. Yes, you see between C and D, they have the same ideology of expansionary activities. But you see D is not a tool of monetary policy. All right? D is a tool of fiscal policy. So that is why D will not be your answer, but your answer is C, because we're talking about what? Monetary policy. And here, whenever the central bank buys treasury securities, it is what? It is releasing money into the economy. By buying, it is paying for what it's buying, all right? So money leaves the central banks into the hands of commercial banks and becomes their own their own assets. And they can now use it to trade by giving out loans and do other businesses out there. And so that's how money gets circulated into the system. So in this case, the best answer here is what? Is C, because the central bank in this case is releasing more money into the system, and that makes it what? An expansionary action from the central bank. So the answer is what? Is C. Okay. So question 14 says, part-time workers who desire full-time employment are what? Part-time workers that desires full-time employment are what? Here the question says, or the option says, they are underemployed and contribute to the unemployment statistics. Is that correct? They are working already, okay, but they don't like what they are doing. They want to get something better. So A is not the answer. B says they are underemployed but do not contribute to the unemployment statistics. I think that should be the correct one, because you can't see them as unemployed. Let's see C. C says not part of the labor force and do not contribute to the unemployment statistics. That's a very wrong one, because they are working already. That's out of it, okay? Then they have cyclical unemployment. That's not true, okay? Because they are still in a job. So they have not left their job so far. They are still in a job, but they are underemployed, but they don't have a figure in contribution to the unemployment statistics. No, so our answer is what? Our answer is B. All right, our best answer is what? Is B. So question 15. Yes, question 15 is trying to make us test our knowledge about ECOWAS organogram. All right, that's hierarchy in ECOWAS. So yes, this question is very important and is easy to understand. So it asks you to be able to identify who is the one responsible for the ECOWAS activities, who determines what happens. That is a question here. So he said the highest, that is the highest body in ECOWAS organogram, the one that everybody reports to. Is it the executive secretary? Is it the defense council? Is it the council of ministers? And I think the answer should be what? The authority of heads of states and government, because this body represents the president of each country in ECOWAS. So they should saddle, they should be able to, they are the ones that should be seen as what? The head of the body in ECOWAS, the highest body in ECOWAS. So they represent the authority in ECOWAS. So without them, the rest will not have a place and will not be functioning as supposed to be. So yes, our answer is A, okay? Answer A. So the next one is number 16. Money, 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 money. So money could be defined as what? So whatever money does for you is what you can define money to be, isn't it? Whatever money can do for you represents the meaning of money to you. And so, of course, because it's general to everybody, we have to look at it in a general perspective. So yes, money is defined as what? A says medium of exchange. Yes, money serves as a medium of exchange. With money, you can buy anything you want to buy, all right, and get it and take it home with you and pay the money. That's exchange, all right. Medium of payments, of course. When you make payment for anything you desire to have, you have paid for it, okay? Then also, settlement of debts. If you owe anybody, all right, mostly you use money to pay for it, okay, to settle that debt. D says options A, B, and C. All right, so which of these, because A, B, and C are identified as money. So in this case, what is D? D now combines A, B, and C as one to give us that all of them means what? Money. So A is not just the answer, B is not just the answer, C is not the answer, but D captures everything. So our answer is what? Is D, because A, B, and C represents what? Money. So our answer is what? Our answer is D. The next question is number 17. The following are economic agents in any economy. Economic agents in any economy. Now we have two kinds of economy which we call a closed economy and an open economy, all right? The closed economy will have two-sector economy where you have households and firms, and the open one includes the government plus household and firms. So here, just like the question we just answered right now, we talk about money, here also has similar nature. Then the following are economic agents except one. So if you look at it, we already have the three of them, A, B, and C, are economic agents, all right? The government is one, the household is one, the firm is one. So the only one that here that's not an economic agent as considered is what? Is the central bank. It's not an what? It's not an economic agent, but a tool in the hand of the central bank to manipulate and control the economy. So our answer is what? Our answer is D. Number 18, an increase in money income with constant price results in dash. Now, with a little more analytical understanding of this, your answer should be clear as well. Remember, increase in money income, increase in your salary, increase in the amount you are having with you over time, all right? You're having more cash with you, more money in your bank accounts, all right? And the price at that in that same economy does not change. It remains the same. That's what the question is asking. What happens if that is the condition? A says an inward parallel shift in the budget line. An inward parallel shift in the budget line. B says outward shift in the budget line. C says budget line remains constant, and D says option A and C. Okay. You know, when you talk about budget line, you talk about indifference curve. Okay? Well, that's another topic for the day, so we won't go deep into it, all right? So this is what the point at which the consumer is able to combine two goods based on his budget to be able to pay and have them is the budget line. So now, if you have more money and price doesn't change, what will happen to that curve? What will happen? It will shift what? Outward. That means there will be an increase in spending. There will be an increase in what you're going to buy. Right? So there will be what? An outward shift in the budget line. So our answer is what? Our answer is B. The rest are not the answer. So the marginal propensity to consume is what? The marginal propensity to consume is dash. Okay, what does it mean? This is actually the proportion of an additional income that the consumer is willing to spend in consumption. That is what we mean by MPC, all right? The proportion of an increased income that the consumer is willing to spend to consume, all right? That's MPC. They're asking us for the formula here and the nature. So A is the right formula, B is also the right formula, and C represents the slope of the curve as well. So what do we have? Our answer is what? Our answer is D, because option A, B, and C are also correct. This is the pattern they have asked for the last 3-4 questions now for this Jamb. So you can see, you need to understand more about a particular topic for you to be able to give accurate answers. So that's why I say get an in-depth study of each of those topics I have mentioned to you. Remember, this one talks about what? Theory of marginality, right? You can see marginal here. Marginality is considered here. I can mention theory of marginalities, all right? Marginal theories, analysis. So go and study them properly. Our option is what? Option D as the correct one. Okay, an industry, simple one, coming from, you can talk about this from SS1 and SS2 as well. Okay, so an industry is what? A group of firms producing differentiated products. Should that be the answer? I don't think so. B says a group of firms producing distinct commodities. A group of firms producing distinct commodities. Option A and B are saying the same thing. They just change the words, all right? So don't be confused. Option C says a group of firms producing related goods. Related goods. D says a group of firms producing unrelated goods. So if you look at it very well, option A, B, and D are saying the same thing. The odd one here is C, not because it's odd, but that's what it means. An industry is defined as what? A group of firms that produce similar, same or similar goods, or homogeneous goods, or related goods, okay? So that's our answer is what? Our answer is C. Now the principle that's 21 now, question 21 says, that the principle that specified that the amount when and how to pay tax should be made known to the taxpayer is known as what? Take note of what it said. The principle that specified that what? That the amount when and how to pay tax should be made known to the consumer or the taxpayer, to the taxpayer, is known as what? You should know what it means. If you look at this option without being told, even if you don't know these principles, one of them should convince you as the most applicable to this question. Made known. Made known. The point where your answer should come from is what? The expression that says made known. Should be made known. That's the point I'm referring to, that to link you to your answer to this question. To be made known. When something is made known to you, what does it mean? It is clear to you. All right? You become aware. You have an understanding. It's certain, all right? I've already given out the answer. So answer is what? Answer is D. It's called what? The principle of certainty. So here, that's the answer, okay? Principle of convenience, no. Of course, those are the principles, but not the one that's specified that the amounts, when and how to pay tax should be made known. It's certainty, all right? Thank you. So let's go. 22, public corporation is financed with what? Oh, this one is own junior secondary question. So yes, you can answer it. Public corporation, government businesses, that's what it means. Public corporation represents what? Government businesses. They can be called public enterprises, public corporation, public authorities, commissions, agencies, and so on. All right? They are all financed with who? With what, sorry? They are financed with what? Which sort of finance do they get the money from? Is it taxpayers' money? Is it capital raised from shareholders? Is it capital contributed by owners? Is it capital raised from stock exchange? The truth is that government collects what? Taxes from people, and it further uses it to do what? To carry out its economic activities. So in this case, public corporations are what? Are financed with taxpayers' money. That's our answer. A is our answer. So let's go ahead. So A, it says if commodities X and Y are substitutes, their cross elasticity of demand will be what? Will be what? A, positive, B, 0, C, 1, D, negative. Okay, I want to analyze these options that are here before we go back into the answer. Now, when you say positive elasticity, in fact, the word positive, talk about demand and supply, all right, with relation with price. Now, if according to the law of demand and supply, the law says the higher the price, the lower the quantity demanded. That's what? That's an inverse relationship. Price going up, demand going down, okay? That is a negative relationship. But for supply, it says the higher the price, the higher the quantity what? Demanded. That's what? That's a positive relationship, all right? A direct what? Relationship. So in this case, when you have substitute goods, you should know that their elasticity what? They have what? They have a negative relationship, but what? Their elasticity will be what? Positive because of what? If the price of one falls, the demand for the other one will what? Will fall. I don't know if you understand it. Now, put Pepsi and Coke side by side. If the price of Pepsi falls, the demand for Coke will what? Will fall. True or false? Because people will buy more Pepsi than Coke. It's not true. So in this case, we're talking about what? The cross elasticity being what? Positive, because they will change in the same direction. That's what I want to establish here. When actions and reactions happen in the same direction, we have what? A positive relationship, a positive activity. Okay? When price changes, when price goes up and supply rises, is what? It's a positive direction, all right? It's a positive relationship. Now, if price of one commodity falls and demand for that one, and demand for the other one falls, what is what? It's a positive what? Elasticity. So yes, our answer is what? Our answer is A. So you know that, okay? That's how to analyze it. Then, question 24, which of the following is an example of free good? Which of the following is an example of what? Free good. Okay, the word free here, free good, it's not because they dashed you the thing. Oh. Even if it was given to you for free, somebody has paid for it somewhere. Or there was a cost incurred in producing that good. So it's not free. Hope your mind is clear now. The word free doesn't really make it that, okay, because somebody gave it to you, you didn't pay for it, it becomes free good. No. As far as something is produced and given to you, you didn't pay for it, somebody else has paid for it, so it's not free. It was paid for. So in this case, what we mean by free is what no money was involved in producing it, and you don't have to pay to have it. So what do you have here? Options are what? Dinner you did not pay for. Is it free good? No, 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 no. It's not free good. B, your rented apartment. It's paid for. Rented, all right? Free education. No, somebody is paying for teachers that teaches you. Yes. Water in the ocean. Who puts it there? Is it human? No. Nature, of course. So yes, our answer is what? D. Because water in the ocean is what? It's a free gift of nature. Okay? So this is what the answer is, a free good. All right? Good. Now, types of price elasticity of demand. I've mentioned it before, so I think the answer will come easily here. Types of price elasticity of demand for a commodity whose quantity demand remains unchanged despite changes in the prices is what? Okay. I've already given out this answer before now, so you should be able to give us the answer. The answer is what? Is B, because when they say demanded, quantity demanded remains unchanged. That is, no matter the change in price, the quantity demanded will not change. It remains the same, all right? Means that what? It is zero elastic. It is what? Infinitely or perfectly inelastic. So answer is what? B. Number 26 question says, dash presently used in Nigeria to measure inflation. Dash is presently used in Nigeria to measure inflation. What is that? What is that? A, is it consumer price index? Is it wholesale price index? Is it gross national product implicit pricing deflator? Or is it real gross domestic product? Our answer here is as simple as what? Consumer price index, okay? That is a one. In fact, if you want to understand it more, in Nigeria today, how do you know that there's inflation? How do you know that there's inflation? You can feel it yourself, all right? The price you pay for your transport has increased over time. The price you pay for the goods and services you enjoy has increased. So yes, it's because you are the one paying for it. So it's consumer that you are, and the money you pay to enjoy your goods and services is the price. So yes, put together the basket that consumers consume per time or period of time is consumer demand index. So yes, it is used to know when there's inflation or not. It's what? Consumer price index. Thank you very much. Now, the short run can be defined as a period of time during which what happens? This is question number 27, right? Say, what do you understand by the short run? That's what I'm trying to ask you here. In a business life, what is the short run period? What's the short run period in a business life? This means what? The short run period in a business life is a period where a business is unable to adjust all its assets, right, to meet current demand. When they are unable to adjust, make an adjustment in what they have to offer to meet current demand, they are limited by some factors that are fixed in nature or that are fixed at that moment. So yes, a short-run period can be defined as a period of time during which at least one of the firm's inputs are fixed or is fixed. That's our answer, okay? It's not the rest. B, C, and D are not correct, but A is correct. At least one factor is what is fixed. B says all inputs are variable. No, that's a long-run period. A long-run period, all factors or inputs are what? Are variable. All inputs are fixed. No, never. All inputs can never be fixed for any business, except you have not started the business already. Then D says at least two inputs are fixed. The only option that is correct here is what? Is A. So A is what? One factor is fixed and the rest are variable. Minimally, one is fixed. What is real cost? I think this should be answered by JS3, JS2 students as well, because it talks about what they have learned from there. Coming forward to JS3, SS1, SS2, as well as a YA candidate now, you should know what it means. When you say real cost, something should appeal to your conscience immediately. Opportunity cost, all right? Real cost is what? Opportunity cost. So what is it? A foregone alternative. Is it not true? Yes. Or you can say the next best alternative what? Foregone. So if real cost is opportunity cost, then from this option, what will be our answer? They say A says alternative commodity what? Foregone. B says cost of goods and services available. Cost of goods and services. C says amount of money spent on goods and services. Why D say true cost? My dear, it's always real cost is what? Opportunity cost. So what best fits the answer is what? Is option A, and the answer is what? A. Thank you very much. Now, tariff or a tariff is a tax. Truly it's a tax, of course. Imposed on what? This is where Jamb use near answers to confuse candidates. As simple as this question is, you can feel it. All right? It says a tariff is a tax imposed on what? First of all, it is used to control trade within borders of the country, okay? To control trade. And it's more on importation than exportation. So yes, import and export are the short answers, but one is the most fitting. Tariffs always impose on importation mostly than exports. So yes, answer is what? Is imported goods and not exported goods. Not even domestic, not even consumer goods. Thank you. Now, number 30, we are almost heading home, all right? We're almost heading home, so I'm sure that by now we all will be very, very conversant with what we're doing. So the development of an economic hypothesis through intuition, insight, or logic is associated with dash. The development of an economic hypothesis through intuition, insight. Remember, intuition, insight, logic is associated with dash. These three words should make you understand where we are looking at. Intuition, insight, logic. It's had to do with mental strength, isn't it? Ideas, isn't it? So, based on this, our answer will be what? Is it inductive? Is it deductive? Is it policy economics? Is it normative? Normative economics is what has to do with sense of reasoning, okay? Idea, logic, reasoning. So yes, our answer is what? It's normative economics. Thank you very much. So business cycle is associated with what? When you talk about a cycle, that's question 31 now. It's something that goes round and round. It goes, repeats itself over a cycle. It goes forth and back and forth, keep going round and round and round repeatedly over time. Talking about history repeating itself, it's a cycle, right? So yes, business cycle, like we said, it's what? As the business goes and turns and comes back again and repeats itself and starts again, some things happen. It has highs and lows, all right? Peak point and low point, all right? So in this case, business cycle is not inflation, no. It's not unemployment, it's not seasonal variation. Of course, you may be thinking that it's seasonal variation because this is what? Season. It comes and goes, all right? But no. Recession is the most likely answer here because it does with business booms and business towards flops. Boom and bust, all right? When it busts, it's what? It flattens, all right? There's a drop in business activities. That means recession sets in. So here, our best option is what? Is recession, a period of what? A slowdown in economic and business activities generally, okay? That is what it means. So our next question is what? Question 32. So the law of supply states that other things being equal, it says, the law of supply states that other things being constant, all right? Other things being constant, as prices increases, I mentioned it from the beginning, all right? As prices increases, what should happen? According to the law of supply, what will happen? Supply must increase because suppliers or sellers or producers want to make more money by selling more. All right, so they will bring out more that they produce to supply to the market. So yes, our answer is what? Is A, because supply will increase as price rises. Okay, we are closer home now. Question 33, that's where we are. If a business's total economic costs of producing 10,000 units of a product is 750,000 naira, if a business's total economic cost of producing 10,000 units of a product is 750,000 naira, and this output is sold to consumers for 1 million naira, then the firm would earn what? Here they are trying to use terminologies to confuse you. So look at it very well. It's a simple subtraction or arithmetic. Okay? If you spend 750,000 to produce something, and you sell it for 1 million, how much will you make as profit? Is it not 250,000 naira? Yes, so whatever is attached to it, my dear, don't let it bother you, all right? In this case, for this option that we have here, they said number one is what? A normal profit of 750,000 naira, an economic profit of 750,000 naira, an economic profit of 250,000 naira, a normal profit of what? 175,000 naira. So 1,750,000 naira. No, that's not it. So in this case, what do we have? Our answer is what? Our answer is C, because we're making what? A normal economic profit of what? 250,000 naira. Okay, hope you're still there. You're following well. Now, the part of income after tax, the part of income after tax that is not consumed. In fact, the entire question gives away the answer. All right, the entire content of this question gives away the answer. Of course, let me say not consumed, most especially not consumed. Income not consumed is what? Is saved, all right? So yes, very clear answer there. Number A is what? A is what? Savings. It's not capital invested, it's not wages and salaries, it's not non-durable goods expenditure, no. It's what? Savings. Whatever is not spent is what? Is saved. Take it as a saying, all right? So government uses all the following ways to redistribute income except which one? Income redistribution is an action of the government to try and even the gap between the rich and the poor, using several methods or ways in doing that. The government can use subsidy to do that by ensuring that cost of production is reduced, okay, per unit, and so that the price can be more affordable even to the poor. Government can also use infrastructure to do that, building public facilities that both the rich and poor can enjoy together without any difference, like schools, like free education for primary schools now, good roads, health facilities that everybody can enjoy at a low price. Okay, of course, the government can use tax as well to do this by doing what? I've already given out the answer, right? The government can do what? Can use tax by doing what? By taxing the rich more and the poor less. That is progressive taxation. Or whichever way they want to use tax system to do that, they can do that as well. So except one. Now, Number one says transfer earnings. Transfer earnings. Government can give unemployment allowances to the poor, all right, to the unemployed who doesn't have money. That's also one of the ways to redistribute income. By giving those who don't earn income money, it makes them to be stable, all right? So that's one of the ways to redistribute income. That's what we call transfer earning. Money you receive for which you don't work for is called transfer earning, or which you did not do business to earn is called what? Transfer earning. And then B says market intervention. In this case, government is giving subsidy or is giving grant or is giving tax holiday or is using price control. Okay, that's market intervention. Limited liability is a terminology used to describe the nature of the status of a firm, that its liabilities are just limited to what the business has earned as assets. All right, then taxation is the last one. So out of these four options, the best or the most correct is what? The one that is most odd, which is what? Limited liability. It does not, government doesn't use it for anything, all right? It's a nature, it's a status of a business existence, all right? So one of the ways is limited liabilities. Wow, we are coasting home already. One major criticism of foreign aid to developing countries is that it does what? It does what? Foreign aid is the money that are given to countries in need, all right, to settle their problems, all right? When a country is in a major crisis, countries bring them money. Sometimes it doesn't come for free, it comes with a condition, but they are giving you money to run and settle what you need to settle with money so that you can continue your life normally. So these monies are given as aids. Some of them are free, some of them come with other conditions, all right? So one major argument against it is what? A says it provides incentives for capital flight. Is it because of that they speak against it? Capital flight. What does it mean? That it erodes capital that will be used to invest for future returns. Is that the reason? 2, it is capital using rather than what? Capital saving. C, encourages growth in government bureaucracy, that is government's bottleneck, elongated procedure, that it makes it to grow. D, it gives too much power and control to World Bank. How does World Bank come into this one? Foreign aid does not mean World Bank, okay? So yes, let's look at it. The most useful answer here is that it is capital using rather than what? Capital consuming. Aids are given to solve some problems, basically crises or emergencies. So instead of using it to do what? To invest, they use it to solve that problem, temporary problem. And that's why it's called what? Capital using rather than what? Capital savings. So our best answer here is what? Is B. All right. I don't know how clear these letters are to you. I don't know if you can see very well. So, but I know that we'll have P1, P2, P3, P4 in the price line, and we'll have W, X, Y, Z in the quantity axis. And then we'll have our marginal cost, our average total cost, and our marginal revenue curve, and our point of tangencies, and we own our average revenue curve as well, which is equal to demand curve. Yes, this graph represents what? See, the diagram above represents who? It is the curve of the imperfect market, specifically what? That of a monopolist. So answer is what? It's an answer A. Answer is what? A. Going further on the same graph, I say, what is the lowest price the monopolist can charge? You see, now the answer is clear. It's a monopolist graph, isn't it? What is the lowest price the monopolist can charge from this graph? Remember, the curve that hits the average revenue curve is determinant of price. The quantity line, all right, that represents revenue, okay, the average revenue curve is what we can take. And see, the P1 there actually means average cost, okay, if you can look at it very well, because the average total cost curve determines that price at that level, so it's average cost curve. Now, if you go further upwards, you see the next one is what? where MC curve calls MR. That is the market equilibrium price. That's the lowest price the monopolist can charge for his products. Okay? So our answer is what? Our answer is P2, which is A. And that says, what is the maximum price as well of this curve? The maximum price is the highest price that is available there. Where that, even though, yes, you can see now that above the equilibrium price, you can still charge P3, but you cannot charge below the average cost at that point, because P4 is what? P4 is average cost. So that's the highest price the monopolist can charge, because if you charge below that price, you sell at a loss, all right? You sell at a what? At a loss, because at that point, the average cost is what? Is P4. So at that point, average revenue is what? Average cost. So then you can have what? That's the highest possible price you can charge as a monopolist there. So answer is what? P4. Hope it's clear to you. Good. The last question to be considered here today in this video analysis of the last year's Jamb question for economics is number 40. And it says, one major problem facing West African countries is dash. A, relations with colonial masters, political integration, joint military operations in member states, financial crunch of member states. The other ones cannot really be major problems, even though they are big. But one thing that has really limited West African countries to succeed as a group is the allegiance that they still pay to their colonial masters, especially because we all don't speak English. We have Portuguese, we have French-speaking countries, we have English-speaking countries. So these language differences, which is far-reaching relating to their colonial masters, the French, the Portuguese, and the English, is a big challenge that has really set West Africa apart as ECOWAS. So our major problem here is what? Is the relationship we have with our colonial masters. So here we come to the end of last year's Jamb question and their answers and analysis as well. I believe that by the time you go through these 40 questions and what I've analyzed here, it will give you a better understanding and insight as to how to answer other ones as well. God bless you. Good luck as you prepare. The best is yours.